Most people think that they're stuck in life because they lack clarity and that they don't have enough information, where in reality, more information will probably just add to the problems. It's not so much about clarity being the problem, more so about you're trying to move forward based off of an old identity, rooted in a belief system that no longer serves you. Trying to create change while this is your foundation, you're just going to fall over and over again. So it's not so much about information being the problem, it's just a matter of integration. I started working with a plant called ayahuasca back in 2011. I first came to this medicine crippled both physically and mentally. I was severely depressed for the majority of my life. And it took me about 10 years until I really started to take integration seriously. But once I did, it took me 6 months until the depression was lifted and I started gaining clarity on the direction of my life. For many years, I had this belief that I just needed to keep doing more healing work on myself, and that I needed more information, more clarity, and more insight. When in reality, I just needed to take what I'd already received and apply that. Things like plant medicine and meditation, these are tools, and they teach us about ourselves. They teach us how to live. But unless we take those teachings and apply it to our lives, we're defeating the purpose and we're not going to get anywhere. Plant medicine in particular, one of the ways that they teach is through the vision. These teachings can be life-changing, but unless we apply those teachings, they just remain in the visionary realm. This was a cycle that I was stuck in for many years, sort of relying on medicine to magically do the work for me. It was just not possible. And medicine became a bit of a crutch for me. And this is a very common theme with people that I see in the work that I do. You know, they have a vision for their life. They want to live their calling. They want to live their purpose. And they think that more clarity, more information is going to be what gets them there. Where in reality, the thing that they resist is the actual steps that will produce the harvest. The vision will show us the garden, but we have to actually work this. We have to actually get into the dirt, get our hands dirty, our feet dirty. If we do all those steps, we'll produce a harvest. If we don't do any of those steps, we won't get a harvest. Typically, the more resistance that we have towards something, it's simply a sign that that's the thing that we need to focus on the most. So clarity and information, of course, they're important, but they can also act as a barrier and a block, preventing us from doing the thing that is going to produce the transformation. Transformation can appear like it happens overnight, where in reality, it's the compounded effect of the daily application. And it's the daily application that will crystallize the clarity. So we have an idea of what we're wanting to create and the direction that we're going. We simply walk towards that. That builds the momentum. The momentum brings us more in alignment. The alignment brings more clarity. However, without the movement comes no clarity. The very thing that I resisted the most in my life is now the thing that I teach people how to do.